really sorry for this, guys. I mean, it's not anything that I'm doing. Comcast is just being a huge booty butt tonight. But I still really sorry. It keeps dropping, it keeps starting new streams, it just keeps being a general pain. And I really appreciate your patience with me. The options for internet in Nashville are not great. Excuse me. In this stream, we say yata. Just kidding. Yata. I will say it is. Yep. It's like what? Just Comcast. They basically forced, like, there's no Google. You cannot have Google Fi here because they can't share the polls, or they're not going to share the polls. And the thing about, I mean, monopolies are already bad, but it wouldn't be so bad if Comcast was all right, but it's awful. And they don't care. They don't care at all. Oh man, I'm on Google Fiber. I hear it's so much faster and more reliable. I'll tell you, you get to Louisiana and AT&T is the worst. The worst. It's awful. Their cell reception in Louisiana is horrendous. Ooh. But Comcast is probably penalizing me because I've been uploading a lot of videos lately. So that's probably what's going on. I smell red beans and rice. It's gonna be nice when I finish my stream. I'm sorry, I'm in sing o'clock part of the evening. Have I been to Mardi Gras? Yeah. So when I was younger, much younger, it was a really big deal. I'm talking about like when I was a 14-year-old. It was a really big deal to get your parents or to get someone else's parents to go as a group down to one of the big parades. And me and my next door neighbor were best friends, and we were trying to hit up all of them. Plus, my dad, the company he worked for, would rent a balcony apartment during Mardi Gras so we could see Rex, elk, and there's another one that's even earlier in the morning. Those are all really early morning parades. So we would go do that every year for a while. And then there was this one year where I think Frankie Muniz was the king of Endymion, and Jason Alexander was also like part of the royalty for Endymion. And I begged my dad to take me, and he and my aunt took me. And I got way up to the front. Like the crowd kind of pushed me up because I was this little 14-year-old girl. And this is like 10 o'clock at night. Everybody is super drunk. Not me, because I was 14 and I can't drink. But so I'm pushed to the front of the crowd, and there's all these like happy drunk people behind me. And Jason Alexander hums a doubloon, which is like a metal coin about this big, hums it at my face, and it hits my nose. And from that point on, my nose has always been catawampus. And after that, I still did Mardi Gras stuff. Like there's a little bitty parade in the town that I grew up in called Luling. So I'd go to the Luling parade with my family and just kind of enjoy the festivities on a much smaller level. But you know, since Jason Alexander hummed a doubloon at my nose, I'm good. I'm good. And I have a friend who's in Chewbacca's, which is like the big nerd parade. So when we move back down, we might, you know, try to get involved with that. I was just telling Joseph yesterday or today that I haven't had any king, because every time I go home to Louisiana, it's after Lent has ended, so I don't get any crawfish and I don't get any king cake. And what I care about is the king cake. Damn me that king cake. Maybe we should, well, I don't even think AT&T is an option for us here, Tanner. Otherwise, that sounds way better. Free Shabokado? Yes. Yeah, oh, for sure. Okay, so when I was a kid, the thing you did when you were in K through 12 is during Lent, somebody would bring a king cake every Friday. And of course, whoever got the baby had to bring it the next week. So I have definitely been the recipient of the king cake baby. And there was this chain of supermarkets, or there is this chain of supermarkets in Louisiana called Winn-Dixie. And I think maybe Mississippi has it, maybe even Florida has it. I've seen them in the South, but they're a Louisiana chain. And in my tiny town, Winn-Dixie was where you would go to get your king cake. That was where you would go to get the good king cake. But my mom would always insist on going to Walmart, which had the subpar king cake. So I was always ashamed of my king cake offerings. See, there we go. I wasn't sure how like widespread Winn-Dixie had gotten. Okay, and they told me to draw him with his green ring. But I'm not seeing his green ring. What green ring are you all talking about? And also, in case we're going in this direction, I have been down to Bourbon Street, but people from Louisiana, people from New Orleans don't really like Bourbon Street all that much. That's not really where you go to hang out because it's full of tourists and it's full of vomit, and it's just generally like not as fun. All right, Andrew, have a good evening. Well, I'm not sure if it's his ring in canon or their ring in fanon or something between them. I should have gotten a photo of the ring specifically because I know they mention it a few times, so I know it's important to them. What I might do is just email them and ask them about it after the stream and then draw it in. I'm not a super party girl anyway. When I was younger and I had more energy, I would cosplay a lot. So a lot of my like party energy, I guess, went to competitive cosplay because one of my friends really wanted to be a cosplay model for a while. Actually, we're not friends anymore, but I think they're still pursuing their dream, which is awesome. Good for them. But what that meant is a lot of all of our money basically went to fabric, and all of our time went to sewing. And we would travel around the South and do shows, like competitions. Her goal was to be a cosplay model and get invited to cons as their guest, which is definitely a thing now. It wasn't a thing so much in 2008 when we were doing this. Remember, her parents thought she lost her mind wanting to do that. You definitely should if you're ever down there. There's several in the area. I mean, if you're staying in downtown New Orleans, you might as well go to the one in downtown New Orleans by the Riverwalk. But they're kind of all over in a 10-mile plus radius. So if you can get to one of the ones in Metairie, there's not going to be. The one downtown has like a 2-hour standing line wait. But if you go outside of the city, it's not a problem. Good beignets is definitely something that I miss here in Nashville. I don't even try. Hydrating. Give me some of that good water. Oh, never mind. I want your tea. I don't know, am I? It did, yeah. While you were downstairs, it was being really bad. I need to hydrate. I just been talking at y'all and talking at y'all. And no hydrate. But I basically quit cosplay when I got really. I'd always been really into comics and always wanted to do comics as a profession, but like I hit this point where I realized I didn't have time to do both. So I focused on comics instead. That's right. Bring the lady some fluids. Chop chop. Snip snap. Oh, it's sleepy time tea. That's why I didn't want it. Because it will put me to sleep. And I need to finish this. It's been 81 years. Who was that? Aww. Wait, oh, okay. For a second there, Katsune, your thing hadn't loaded, so it was just like a blank. Did one just hiss at the other? They're both trying to be in his super skinny lap, and one cat just hissed at the other, like, move it. He doesn't need caffeine, he has catfeine. Womp womp. The bad jokes have started. Wait, what? What is Art Deco? Oh. I can't keep... No, Art Deco's fine. It just made me think of Art Deco. Yeah, that's a good joke. This just slipped, and I need to, like, properly fix it. It also tended to crash and bug out a lot. I did have it pointed. No, I always did it. No, I literally would sync it right before I started streaming. I really would. I really would, guys. I would. Don't listen to his lies. Catastrophe. Well, considering Haffy had an anal gland rupture a couple years ago, it's a catastrophe. Oh, and Raccoon just came back from the vet because she was constipated. Joseph ran her over to the vet at like 6 because she was behaving very strangely. She's okay. They are going to be testing her blood to see if her kidney disease has gotten worse. She's on KD food, but I know, right? Like, a lot of booty problems. Well, they're tortoiseshells, so they're basically indestructible. They're okay. They're old, but they're okay. Haffy has glaucoma now, so they opted not to do surgery on her, which is probably for the best because she's super old. So she's on lots of medication. Boba! You won't even look at me. That meowing in the background is Happy getting her eye drops. She does not like it. She's fine. She just really doesn't like eye drops. You can tell her she's a good girl and praise her. She does like that. And believe me, you want a pet goat? Yes, that is a Do you want a fainting goat? Those are so cute. Or miniature goats. Those are also very high on my like pet priority lists. A goat sharing service? That could be a good idea. Wait, isn't that a petting zoo? A goat sharing service, just a petting zoo. Uber it. Oh, so you just put the goat in an Uber? Like you don't even warn them that they're going to be delivering a goat. You're just like, here you go. Okay, legit question because I really don't know. Can you take a lift with a pet? I do not see an animal option, and I would like to see an animal option for people with service animals. I mean, they can't deny you if you have a service animal, but like, there are people who live in cities who need to be able to take their animals to the vet. You can't take your animal on public transit in some places. Sorry, these are pressing questions. Them beans smell good. Can you imagine getting on an Uber with your little goat? I'd be all for it. I mean, you'd have to, if your goat poops in my car, you gotta clean it though. Yeah, that's why it would be nice if you could like, you know, select that you. But I also don't see any like options for disabilities. And you would think that they would offer that? Maybe I'm just not looking right, or maybe it was like something when I signed up and I just didn't notice. I don't know. I think about accessibility pretty often. I've never noticed the pet hair, but in Nashville, Uber and Lyft are like the big work for people. You know what I mean? Um, like it's hard to find full time work here, so a lot of people, or you don't make enough money to pay for housing, so a lot of people end up doing Uber and Lyft to help pay the bills. So it can get kind of competitive to compete for those 4-star rankings. Not that we have a Pikachu car. I wish we had a Pikachu or a Miku one. No, we don't have anything fun. I don't know. Thinking about Lyft and Uber being like, I don't want to call them employers because although they are paying you, they do not provide the benefits of employment. So I don't want to call them employers because that kind of blurs the line. But it definitely worries me a lot. Which strike? That was yesterday, wasn't it? Do you guys know anything about the strike, the Uber and Lyft strike that went on the other day? Hmm. It seems like that you could probably report that, Hema, if you are feeling so inclined. Maybe they would actually do something about it. Yeah. It's rough too because some areas do have unemployment problems. Like Nashville does have unemployment problems. And when people go on strike, you know, some of those places will try to hire someone to not just be a substitute for the interim, but like replace them. And like when you're unemployed and you need to pay rent, you're stuck with a really hard decision between like, do I take this job that is taking a job from somebody else who's fighting for fair pay and fair treatment, or do I continue to be unemployed? That's a hard position to be in. Oh, have a good evening, Barrett. Thank you for dropping in. No, I didn't use it either. But I don't know how much I've talked about it here, but I have really bad driving anxiety. So if I can't get Joseph to drive me, sometimes I'll take a Lyft if I need to go like across town. I'm really grateful that I didn't have anything that I needed to get across town for. Yeah, there are always taxis. I thought about that too. Especially if you're calling ahead, you can get one. It's just getting one. Oh, I have no opinions about the Sonic movie, but you are welcome to talk about the Sonic movie. All I know is what Twitter has said about the Sonic movie. I'll put it that way. There are a lot of underemployed artists, and that's going to make for a really interesting situation depending on how it's Sony is the studio doing the Sonic movie, right? Depending on how they revise his design. No, I okay. That was definitely a big concern for me, Kino Kitsune at first. Like you can ask Joseph, I was terrified to do it because the internet is full of stories of those kind of things going horribly, horribly wrong. I don't ever ride Uber, but I do ride Lyft because Lyft is supposedly the safer of the two. I've only had one weird situation happen, and Joseph was there. He asked the dude if he could sit in the front seat because I mistakenly thought someone always has to sit in the front seat. I don't know why. And the dude basically jokingly threatened to punch him. And like all of his jokes that evening were weird and kind of violent. So like that was definitely a very disconcerting situation. But that's the only time I've had that happen. And I'll usually take a Lyft to the airport if I need to get to the airport and Joseph can't give me a ride. And it hasn't been. If I go during the day, it's not bad. So, do you guys think they actually have to redo it? Or do you think they had it done right, a la Detective Pikachu, the whole time? And this has just been a big PR stunt to get more people to see the movie? I get you, Kitty Cat's Village. And you live kind of in the LA area too, where driving is both like a thing you need to be able to do, but it's also really scary. I feel really bad for the animators then, because aren't they saying they want it out in November? Oh my gosh. Can somebody fill... I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way. Can somebody fill Joseph in on what's going on with the Sonic movie? I don't keep up that much. There's some people who are like keeping up with it, which is why I'm requesting that somebody else fill you in. The TLDR that I understand it is that the design is super duper ugly. A bunch of artists have been dunking on it and redrawing it way better while still keeping in kind of this live action style. Sony's like, we heard your complaints. We're redoing the movie. But it's live action mixed with CG finished, according to Sony. Yeah. So like some artists are like, oh, that's great, I'm really happy. But artists who know anything about the CG animation industry are like, those poor artists. No, they're getting crunched. When a lot of... That's... Dude, no. Like, no. What I mean by that is like, paid to crunch is never a good solution. You're wrecking your health and you basically feel like you don't have a choice. You don't feel like you have the option to just be like, you know what? Nah, this ain't my scene. I can find a job elsewhere. Be- I wasn't gonna go see it anyway. Now I'm like double not gonna go see it, if that makes sense. That, okay. Kitty Cat's Village, that is better though, because like you have all this wide open area where you're not necessarily sharing with other drivers to practice. So it is, I feel you, it is definitely terrifying driving a ton of metal and plastic, but you're pretty safe compared to like if you were doing city driving where someone could theoretically plow into you. Also, Kino Kitsune dropped some links if you want to check it out. Thank you. I don't know. I mean, I've never really been pro crunch. Because you know, when you're in illustration, you're at the tail end of the production cycle. Like, literally everything else has been decided. And they've dithered away all their time. And they expect you to crank out 30 pages in a month. I'm not a fan of crunch, ever. But, like, after Rockstar, the only way I can describe it would require me using an expletive. After Rockstar really... Exactly! But they called it crunch. Sorry, I know. I'm here to draw. I'm not here to have strong opinions on crunch. I don't know. I don't like seeing other artists get treated like that. Especially not when his design was probably strongly advocated against. Have you seen his original design? It's ugly. I mean, I wasn't gonna dunk on another artist's art, you know. Why are they making a live action? Because Detective Pikachu. Everyone is hyped for Detective Pikachu because it looks really cute. Although to be fair, I find Jigglypuff like seriously off-putting.
That movie would probably be fine if it wasn't live action.
A lot of people have said that. They what? Detective Pikachu or
Detective Pikachu.
they're doing it as a comedy. So I think the juxtaposition of like real world elements and very realistic looking Pokemon is probably going to add to the comedy. A lot of oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I understand. That's kind of where I live in Nashville, and I will drive residential, no problem. And if I get on the interstate, I will drive if I'm not in Nashville, because people in Nashville drive like they hate you and they want you dead. Especially around the Vanderbilt area, where it's very young people with SUVs that they are too inexperienced to really be driving and they don't think to check. And I have a little Jetta, so I'm basically invisible to them. Yeah. I'm not at all trying to diminish your driving anxiety either. I feel really trapped by my driving anxiety. If I can give you wings, if I can encourage you to have wings, I will do that because I don't want you to feel trapped. Because there's people who think if it's animated, it's for kids. Just period. I disagree wholeheartedly with them, but there's a lot of adults who have kids who think if it's animated, it's a baby movie. But if it's live action CG, it's not. Well, the thing is, though, Disney's also doing a cash grab. They're basically remaking all their titles live action and shooting them scene for scene. So, like, half the. Well, Beauty and the Beast was a big risk for them, as was The Little Mermaid. Oh my gosh, yes, Hema, you have to post pics. Beauty and the Beast 2 was like 10 to 15 years after Beauty and the Beast. It was very much a cash grab. Because it wasn't like they were really adding anything to the story. What are you oh my gosh, that's like the only thing you remember. Do you remember when we watched all of the bad Disney sequels? Brother Bear 2. Urza, not at all, no. It's a good topic. A lot of people are very invested in it, especially like on Twitter. A lot of artists are really invested in how this is going to pan out because Sony is a huge company. They had the money not to make this mistake, and it's pretty safe to assume that at least some of the artists working on the movie were like, this style isn't going to work. This style is really off-putting. Like, they've had a few months of blowback to the style, which is why I thought it was a PR stunt. Or I guess I'd hoped it was a PR stunt. I wouldn't even assume malice. I mean, I would just assume greed in that case. And plus, I'm also just really, really hoping that the animators who have to reanimate this whole movie by November are not getting screwed over. I mean, people have done that, done like the face swap to show how horrific it would look. Have you seen the art for?
Yeah,
He's so cute.
super realistic proportions. Yeah, I've seen just like pictures. It's pretty cute. I'd probably watch it. I don't know if I'd pay to see it in a theater.
Sure. If we had kids, I'd take them to see it for
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
Even if it's a little bit old, like adult for them, I'd go watch it with them. And
Hunting adult. I guess it's a lot of
well,
animal fighting in there.
yeah, and I mean, my dad took me to see the Batman movies. I'm trying to remember the director's name. He's a big deal. He did Edward Scissorhands, Tim Burton, the Tim Burton Batman movies, which I thought were like the best thing ever. You didn't have one? You know, the animated series for The Little Mermaid wasn't bad either. Okay, so they're not doing it in November anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Most weebs do not get up that early. Says a weeb who does not get up that early. I like the Aladdin series. Yeah. I remember, like, I was super excited about the Aladdin series because Jasmine had a pretty important role and she went and did fun stuff, and I really like that. And as an adult, I like it because it's basically giving them time to get to know each other as a couple before they hurry up and get married. So, yes, Aladdin cartoon, 10 out of 10. Y'all are kidding me with your remake suggestions, live action remake.
It's done before you're done. You can stop.
No, I'm almost done, so no. I'm gonna push. Cause then when I'm finished, I don't have, you know what I mean? Like with me, I don't know if how you guys are, but like it gets to a point where if I take a break, I'm not going to get back to it, so I just push to finish, which I know is not healthy. But I kind of think of it like an old donkey pulling the plow. You're not going to get that donkey back in the field that evening.
We're talking about goats, not donkeys.
I was in 5th grade when Pokemon was a thing in our area, and boy did my school ban it as gambling fast. Probably Harry Potter in my area. You had a lot of little Louisiana kids who just wanted to live anywhere else and wanted to be magical. Nope. I paused it because I thought that might help with the streaming issues. I remember it, but it didn't appeal to me because I was like a junior or a senior in high school, and I think I was just a little old for the demographic of the show. What are you talking? No, I have the what's it called off. It's on mute. Yeah, but I do know that people loved Code Lyoko. Like I had a good friend who's the same age as me who thought it was like the best show. So I I was also very judgmental at that time about if something were supposed to be anime or look like anime, I wanted the really big eyes and the ugu and the big hair. And I feel kind of differently about it now. So I was probably not the target demographic. That said, aesthetically, I thought Totally Spies was fine. And I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. You would think schools would have like embraced Tamagotchis during the family planning unit. Not that my school had anything of the sort, but some schools had family planning units. Of course, dude, teachers today played with Tamagotchis. All right, they would confiscate those things so quick, I bet. I would. I'd be like, I know what that is. Of course, yeah. I'm gonna make your baby poop the room by ignoring it. We are the old generation. Not old, but we're adults. I forget that myself sometimes. I would confiscate them, but only because I remember how intensely distracting my nano was in 5th grade. I really like the animation for Totally Spies because they would get really exaggerated and wild with the facial expressions. Like they never really did anything too zany with like the movements. It's not like Cowboy Bebop or anything like that. But like they'd get really fun with the facial expressions. Oh, don't you dare. I saw a Gudetama Tamagotchi at Target and I had to talk myself out of it. If you tell me there's an Eevee Tamagotchi and that it can evolve, that money's spent. Because all I want from Pokemon is to raise them as my pets. All right, halfway. Okay, so ideal dream world, Eevee Tamagotchis, where they evolve if you want them to into the evolutions, and you can sync it with your friends' Tamagotchis, and your evolutions or Eevees can play with one another. Bam! Take all my money. Did you just laugh at me, Joseph? You wait and see. Sam and I are gonna roll up to SPX with our Eevee Tamagotchis and do nothing of any value the entire time. How bad is it? I can't. 40. That. No, I was thinking 80. Is it in color? They have color ones now. Oh, that would have been so cute. It's okay. I don't have any free time anyway, so it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. No, oh, no. No, no, no. If I give something that nice away in a giveaway, no one will ever watch my channel for art. They'll only watch it for me giving away that kind of stuff. Sylveon. Although OG Eevee is also like the cutest pupper. It has so much potential. It could be anything. You know Kitsune's already pricing them. Do you really have a Tamagotchi collection? I want to see pictures of that. They make some really cute ones. And then some people will deco the cases, and I just think that's really, really cute. Halfway done, I am. Halfway done. It's true. Regular Eevee is the perfect Pokemon. Eevee is the reason also that I can't play real Pokemon games, because the thought of making my Eevee baby fight is like, ugh, so purple. Painful, not purple. My heart. People might find a Trump Tamagotchi to be cathartic. They could just let it die in its own poo. Yeah, sometimes. Why? Usually, I mean, if I'm at the con, no. If I'm mailing it, yes. And the only reason I don't do it at the con is I usually, unfortunately, just get so busy. I mean, I still enjoy doing commissions for people. I may just keep trying to move everything to being mail-in only or pre-order only, just so that I can do a better job, you know?
Request is satisfying so many, so
Well, this time I charged $5 for mailing, and I feel good about that. It was more like mailing the commissions was eating up all of the money. And I should have been doing that from the start, but you know, usually my goal would be to finish it at the con, and then something happened so that I didn't.
go up on all the prices.
Hmm. I was just double checking. They're all inks though. For a second, I was like, maybe it's a watercolor? No, it's inks.
Just finished inking it. You're like type a whole bunch of it.
Yup. And just send it to him anyway because it had been my goof. You know what I am kind of surprised by, and maybe it's just because I haven't. There was a period of time where I didn't really go into the toy aisle. I'm kind of surprised nobody did like a My Pretty Pokemon, like My Little Pony, because some of those Pokemon lend themselves so much to like you put like cute little bows in their hair and you put glitter nail polish on their paws.
Do they have actual like doll hair or mom?
No, but like My Little Pony has the tail and the mane. Yeah. I mean, this is not a new concept in children's toys. 80s children's toys, all of them for little girls had like long hair that you were meant to, yeah. So I'm just kind of surprised that was never. Yeah, Jill, it only took me forever. Well, the post office also went up on everything, so it's kind of hard for me to justify to myself not. But 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 would we not almost all of us buy our favorite Pokemon if it came in like a really cutesy style? Like a magical girl mascot kind of style. You know what I mean? I want to draw that now. Pokemon is an all children's toy. Stuff like shipping, it's hard for me to like I have a hard time estimating what shipping is going to cost, and I feel guilty because it's like, well, if I'm wrong, I feel like I'm taking their money, And if I'm wrong in the other way, I guess I'm out less than I would have been. But I'm working on it because to be able to do this, the only way I can continue is to be honest with myself with what I'm spending. Yes! Pokemon just. Oh, the Jurassic Park dinos, the ones that had the button on the side, and when you push the button, the whole side would fall off, just from revealing like a bite mark with bones. I don't know. I just thought that was hilarious as a kid. I had a lot of dinos, but not the Jurassic Park ones. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Are you at least able to follow it at all? My German is non existent. Yes! Those were pretty cool. When I was a kid, I had the. My mom bought me a lot of dino toys, but not the Jurassic Park ones. Oh, they want your money even if you don't speak German. They'll take it anyway. So I had a lot of like, at the time, scientifically correct dinos, and I would do all these like peaceful pastoral settings. Which precious ball of fluff? Did you end up, Kino Kitsune, did you end up, oh my gosh, you did buy it. Oh, let me know how you like it. Let me know if it's worth the $40. I'm kind of jealous. Oh yeah. Ooh, it's because she's a little orange fluff and she wants to eat little orange cheese fluffs. I don't know. My Remy was a ginger too, and she loved cheese. Maybe it's like an orange girl cat thing. She's so cute though. We need to do like a pet thread at some, or a pet stream at some point. A pet pageant. A pet pageant. We need to do a pet pageant at some time. Do you guys think a pet pageant sounds awesome? Would you participate in a pet pageant? Wow, it's getting harder and harder to say. Too many P's. But y'all have a good night. Y'all get a lot of rest. I'm almost done. Unicorn dinosaurs. Mermaid. Wait, there's already mermaid dinosaurs. Yeah, plesiosaurs. That's your mermaid. Just draw ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs. And that crocodile that ran on what looked like dog legs, like it had super long legs. Draw that. I mean, wasn't torturing patrons the point of any of those tycoon games? Like, I remember I would go over to my friend's house to play Roller Coaster Tycoon, and we would just build dead drops because we were bad people. That is fine. Oh no, you should submit your Pika cakes to the pet pageant, even though we eat them or they are eaten. That's right. Well, it's a yeah, that's right, a tricorn. I'm glad that your pun making skills are far superior to mine at this point in the evening. I'm pretty shot and I can smell those red beans. It is my finish the work incentive. But I'm almost done. And you guys were really good company this evening. I definitely enjoy doing commissions, but it's always more fun hanging out and chatting and doing commissions. Maybe one of the streams, y'all will submit your pets and I will draw your pets for you, and that will be the pet pageant. That makes sense. Xanadu for unicorns. Ah, no, I'm not. Joseph brought food for me, but I'm still working. I don't have anywhere for you to put it. I appreciate you bringing it up. It smells super good. Maybe it will be, I mean, I'm already working as fast as I can. Maybe that will be the wind beneath my wings. I mean, I'm really close to being done, but I'm not done. It's not, I've done it before. Remember those nasty little fun baking cake things for my birthday? Those were super gross. They were so stale. I thought the wind beneath my beams. And to think, there are people who do not feel that these commissions are worth $15 to $25. Not because they don't like the art, which is fair. Like, if you just don't, if that's not your market, I get it. But because they think it's overpriced. Like, if only you knew how much time and care I put into these, it might not make a difference. Bean! He's a little bean. What'd you say? I bean resist. I'm being so strong. I'm impressed because it's 3 minutes to midnight, and these fine folk have hung out with me and kept me company, talked about Tamagotchi, talked about food, talked about the Sonic movie. Like, they have kept me company. They have truly been soldiers. I really appreciate it. Because that is like 4 hours, y'all. I've been here for 4 hours on a Friday night, hanging out with me, this person here. I appreciate it. All right. Have a good evening, Jill. Thank you for hanging out. I'm glad you can make it. I try. 4 hours is a lot. I get on my own nerves after 4 hours. Normally these streams don't go on quite this long. Did it? It probably did. I think birthday stream did too, because we just did a lot of things. Okay, in the stretch. Just gotta fill in the leggies, and then I'm done. Donezo. Oh, I'd provide snacks. Nothing like having a bribe. My stomach wasn't grumbling until Joseph brought the beans up. And now my stomach is urging me on home. Come on, finish. Finish, girl. You got this. So close. They look good, though. I'm glad I did it on the larger paper. I'm glad I didn't try to cram them both onto one 8.5 by 11. Yeah. That's usually where they sell them. And they have all different kinds of kits, too. I think part of the problem was I'd waited too long to eat that one. Because I found it at a Daiso in San Jose. No, San Francisco. And I saved it from November to March, which is maybe not wise. Maybe bad idea. I could have gone to the K&S market here, and I could have gotten one, and it would have been fresher. You guys! You guys! Y'all. Do. Oh man, his mouth still bothers me. I'm gonna leave it. Maybe I'll fix it off stream. Maybe I'll be fine with it tomorrow morning. Who knows? Who even knows? All right. I think that is probably the case. You probably do know about my Patreon. It is a wonderful place where I share all kinds of cool stuff. I am teaching some Copic marker classes with Plaza, and I know that many of you guys do not live in Nashville, so you cannot attend those classes, but I have permission to record my class, and I've been making a lot of bonus content to prepare for the class that I'm going to share with my amazing art nerds over on Patreon. So that could be a good incentive if you have not joined me over there yet. I like how I say I'm done, and then I'm like, oh wait. I know I thanked you guys earlier, but I want to thank y'all again for joining me on this Friday evening, hanging out for a million hours, keeping me company. chatting with me, joking with me, etc. I really appreciate the time you guys have spent hanging out. It kept me motivated, it kept me going. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. And I will see you guys next week. I don't know what is the plan for next week, but there will probably be drawing and there might be snacks, because when are there not snacks? All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys again really soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye, guys.